Friday nights in the mountains hit different. Rivalries renew as August heat turns into cold mountain nights. From Mitchell to Murphy, we've got the plays, the players, and the matchups that matter. The battle for the Blue Ridge starts here. This is Mountain Matchups.
Welcome back to Mountain Matchups. The battle for the Blue Ridge starts here. This is Caleb, joined only by Corey today because Warren decided he was too good for us and decided to take a trip to Buffalo instead. Corey, ain't that some crap?
Must be nice to have big money.
Yeah, just going up there and chilling with all those angry Bills fans after they lost 2 in a row. I can't believe they lost to the Falcons. Garbage.
Yeah, that's pretty wild, especially after the Panthers waxed them.
I know. Hopefully they wax the Bills here in a couple weeks. But anyways, I digress. Warren's out of town. He's visiting his mom, so happy that he gets to spend some time with her, and we're certainly going to miss him today. It's just not the same without Warren on the podcast, but me and Corey are going to do our best to try and push through without him. On today's episode, Reynolds looks like old school Virginia Tech. Murphy keeps handing Robbinsville L's, and Swain County's defense looks stout. But first, it's our Game of the Week recap, the County Clash, Pisgah versus Tuscola. The Black Bears go into Waynesville and really controlled the game from start to finish to beat the Mountaineers 35-14.
Yeah, me and Warren were at this game, and County Clash, I was pumped all week. It was more like County Crash. Landon Pope, 283 yards, 4 touchdowns on 45 carries. What else is new? You had Mahaffey 3 of 4 with 44 yards on a TD, which that's fine. His play action, shout out to Warren there. Hit him with the play action and found Putnam in the end zone. Pisgah just really dominated all night. It really wasn't even a game. I think it was 21-7, like going into the fourth quarter, and I was hoping for something much better. Ty Walker, he battled. Absolutely battled. He had 17 tackles, including 3 tackles for loss, and by the way, he's 5th in the state in tackles, and he's been an animal for the Mountaineers defense all season. But I want to shout out Sam Trantham. He had a respectable 92 yards on 11 carries with a touchdown, but unfortunately Tuscola needed more from him and Bartley. Caleb, like I said last week, Bartley would be the key to them winning, and that proved to be true because they lost. And like I said earlier, Ty Walker, he did his thing on defense. I heard his name called all night. He was trying to slow down Pope, and I don't know, dude. Pisgah, I keep saying they're good, but they're not great. And, further we get into the schedule and when they see Brevard, especially on Halloween night, we'll see how real they are. But they just stick together, man. I remember there was a specific play Tuscola was trying to make during a drive and trying to get things happening, and Bartley threw a great ball on a slant route. That ball was caught and then jarred loose by Pisgah's defense, and I believe that was by Matthew Mahaffey as well. So he's playing both sides of the ball. And, that's not Bartley's fault on that particular play, but along with his interception and then you got players fumbling, it's just a recipe for disaster. We said last week that Tuscola would have to play a well-executed football game, and they just weren't able to make it happen. So I do want to shout out Trantham, though. That kid ran hard. He played his heart out. But as we always say, these backs can't do it all on their own. There has to be other contributions.
Yep. And like you touched on, Warren mentioned last week, talking about Pisgah's offense, he was like, get Mahaffey in some play action there. You got the defense sucked in on the run, throw it over the top. And I guess Warren's, he should be a coach because he got it right. God bless him. But yeah, Pisgah did what they do. They keep handing Pope the ball, and he keeps producing. Just to highlight again, 283 yards and 4 touchdowns on 45 carries. He's got close to 100 yards, 100 carries just in the past 2 games. That's a lot of wear and tear, even on a young man like himself. Corey, do you think Pisgah might be wearing Pope down, giving him the ball that much? You want to do what you do to win, but in the long run, are they going to run into trouble with that?
I do think so. The good thing is to finish out the season and come to see Brevard, they're going to have the bye week this week, I do believe, and then they're going to have East Henderson after that. So they shouldn't have to play Pope a lot in that game against East Henderson. So really, I mean, he pretty much has 2 weeks off. Right. But when you start seeing Brevard and whoever they see in the playoffs, I mean, there's no telling who you could see in the playoffs. I mean, it just depends on the draw that they get in their seeding, because we know how many tough teams there are outside of the mountains who might have a, not a great record or somewhat of a bad record even, but they play in such a good conference and they play tough non-conference schedules that it's like, can Pisgah hang with those type of schools? I mean, I don't know. The only thing I worry about is becoming kind of like one-dimensional, where it's like, hey, we're giving Pope the ball, almost every freaking play of the game, and it's like, are you going to stop our physicality? But if you go to see a team who has that type of physicality, right, I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's important to look back at that Franklin loss that Pisgah had. Franklin really controlled that clock, which limited the amount of carries that they could give to Pope. So that could be a strategy for Brevard too. I know Brevard likes to get up and down the field, but they might have a little something in store. But we're getting ahead of ourselves. That's going to be on Halloween night. Very excited for that game. But Pisgah wins this one over Tuscola. They're the victors in Haywood County. They get the trophy another year in the rivalry, so congrats to them. And Pisgah is looking like a force right now behind Landon Pope's running.
They are.
Let's recap our action from our quick pick 9 from the previous week. We'll start off with Polk going into Madison. And look, this is a game that Polk could have won, and I picked him. I'm pretty sure this is one that you guys laughed at me because you both took Madison. And okay, you were right, but Polk was right there with him. Madison wins 27-22. Ivan Blankenship for Madison, 165 yards on 22 carries, and he also had 13 tackles on defense. And his 89-yard rushing touchdown spurred a second-half comeback to give them the win. So big-time performance for them to get over Polk. But Polk came to play. They were there.
Yeah, they did, and I honestly wasn't even seeing that coming. I mean, I know Polk struggled with Erwin, and Erwin ended up coming out on top in that game, and I thought Madison has had, I don't know, a couple better wins than Erwin, and they've played more as a team, and they've been off to a hotter start than they've ever had. I didn't even think it'd really be much of a game, but Polk County, man, like you said, they came to play. I mean, Brody Wilkins threw for 201 yards and a pair of touchdowns on 18 passes, so shout out to the Wolverines, dude. I mean, y'all did your thing and came up short, but that's fine. It happens. Just keep battling.
Yep. Patriots come out on top 27-22. Next, we have Swain going into Hayesville. They won 28-0, and their defense dominated, ending Hayesville's 3-game winning streak. This Maroon Devils defense has been stout all season long. You remember they held Mountain Heritage to 14 points earlier in the season in a big-time win. Corey, talk a little bit about this hard-nosed Swain County D.
Well, first of all, the fact that y'all held Trey Graves to 66 yards on 22 carries, which is, I mean, that's just absolutely insane. I mean, that impressive. Kid, he's been my dog of the week, I think, at least twice. I know he's been at least one time of y'all's. I mean, he's been in the mix. He gets his yards every night, and his longest run of the night against Swain was 12 yards. And he was averaging 134 yards per game coming into this game. Yep. So it's like, I mean, and they also picked off Magaha, however you say his name, twice. Yep. I mean, Swain County, dude, they're just hard-nosed, like you said. They fly to the football. I don't know what else to say, dude. I mean, they're dominant on defense for sure.
That's been their calling card all season, it feels like. And it's going to be interesting moving forward to see if their defense can keep holding teams down. Just keeping Trey Graves to 66 yards on 22 carries. I mean, that's only 3 yards per carry. That's pretty good.
Wild.
Yeah.
That's stupid.
Yeah, so props to Swain. They win 28-0. One of the biggest games of the week that we had pinned, we ended up going with Pisgah and Tuscola because you got to. It's a county clash. But if it wasn't for that game happening, this would have been our game of the week. Murphy wins at home over Robbinsville 17-10. And they have now won 3 straight over the Black Knights, including a 34-21 win in the playoffs last season. Cameron Clem for Murphy, he's back. 119 yards and 2 touchdowns, including a game-winning 12-yard TD. This was his first game back after suffering an injury in the blowout loss to Reynolds on September 12th. Corey, what does it mean for the Bulldogs to get Clem back in their offense?
Well, I mentioned last week that if they were to get Cameron Clem back for this game, that I thought Murphy would be able to have the edge in this game, and that proved true. He's just such a solid running back. He's shifty. He's elusive. But not only that, he just runs hard as well. I mean, this was a huge win for Murphy to stay on track as the season progresses. And also, I do want to give credit to Murphy's defense for making a strong hold on a turnover on downs to finish the game. Murphy's coach Watson said it was one of those old Smoky Mountain Conference games where both teams just slugged each other out throughout the whole game. But yeah, to get Cameron Clem back, that's huge, especially once you get down to the nitty-gritty of the end of the season. I mean, you're going to want him for playoffs if you want to get another state title.
And we got to mention that they can't play Robbinsville in the playoffs anymore because of the new reclass. So
that's very true.
That's their only meeting this year.
So Robbinsville stayed 1A, right? And Murphy's 2A now?
Yep, that's correct.
I had no idea Robbinsville had that few of kids. I always would have thought Murphy would be the smaller school.
Yeah, they put them in 1A. And honestly, I was looking at the teams for the 1A class. I think there's like a total of 26. Robbinsville, they've got a good chance to win that. So
absolutely.
They need to hold on and finish the season strong to get a good seeding, and they might be the favorites, honestly, in 1A, but we'll see what happens. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Luke Lovin for Robbinsville. Shout out to him. 12 for 22 for 115 yards. But they fall short at Murphy. Andrews, 20. Rosman, 6. Andrews' ground game was the story here. 251 rushing yards. That's the most they've done all season. Their quarterback, Brady McClellan, was just 2 of 3, but for 53 yards and a touchdown. He chipped in 50 yards and another touchdown on the ground. And then how about these two kids for Andrews? Fisher Baxter and Christian DeJesus, each getting a pick for Andrews. They really just handle business against Rosman. That's about all you can say.
Yeah, it's crazy when you see like these really, really small town Western North Carolina high school teams. They just ground and pound. I mean, 2 of 3 for 53 yards. You don't see that on any other high school. It's like we're not throwing. Like we're going to run it between the tackles, and that's just how it is. But yeah, shout out to Andrews. That's a good dub.
Yeah, I mean, you put up 251 rushing yards and 3 touchdowns on the ground. Why do anything else? Ground and pound.
Surprise me.
West Henderson, 34. Smoky Mountain, 8. Not a whole lot to say about this game. We'll give a couple shout-outs to West Henderson standouts. Zane McCraw, 167 yards and 4 touchdowns on 32 carries. And Cade Young was 8 for 10 for 183 and a touchdown as they just drilled the Mustangs. Tough loss for Smoky at home, but West Henderson's a good team. Franklin, our number 3 team, goes into North Henderson, wins 42-21. They jumped on the Knights early, and North Henderson could just never catch up. Corey, talk about it. Talk about Garrett Young, man.
It is every freaking week we talk about this man. I even seen the highlights from WLOS Friday Night Frenzy. When you see this man close up, I know that we harp on him, and whoever listens to this is probably like, shut up, quit talking about Franklin so much. But good Lord have mercy. This guy literally is so, like, he looks like a Division I football player. I'm not exaggerating. Yeah, I have no ties to Franklin. I mean, it's honestly unreal. I mean, he had 194 yards and 5 touchdowns on just 21 carries. And I know that North Henderson's defense struggles a little bit, but even if they were to have shut down Young, you also have a bruiser of a fullback in Attic Sutton who can give Young a breather from time to time while still putting pressure on the defense, and he ended up scoring a touchdown in this game as well. I don't know, man. I mean, it's going to be tough. I mean, you see some of the 5A teams like Franklin is a 5A team and seeing them in the playoffs, but I don't know. It's going to be tough for Franklin to advance far in the playoffs with the teams that they have to play against. But for around here, they're as dominant as they come.
Yep. And, of course, we got to give a shout-out to the other guy that we talk about all the time, Parker Willis for North Henderson. 165 yards and 2 touchdowns on 23 carries. So, I mean, he's going to get his stats, but if you can win by 21, you'll take that all day if you're Franklin.
That's their offense, dude. Give Parker Willis the freaking ball and get out of the way.
There seems to be a theme in WNC this year. It's just like, give the running backs the ball. Let them do what they do. We've had some really impressive running backs this season.
And it's wild because, like, in years past, I mean, not that there's not been dominant running backs, but you see teams spread out a lot more and, like, utilize a lot of different players. But this year, it's just straight up ground and pound, like, freaking stop it, and people just can't.
So, yeah, Franklin keeps rolling. They're looking impressive. We'll see how they fare down the stretch and in the playoffs, but they're looking pretty much like a lock now to get in. TC Roberson, 42, North Buncombe, 0. I watched some of this game on NFHS, and the one thing that stood out to me is TC's speed. Tremaine Durant had a punt return that he took to the house where he just blew by everyone down the sideline. If you were just watching the video, you would think that kid was riding a bike past everybody. I mean, he just zipped by. He's lightning fast. So very impressed by them. Mooka Simpson, we've spoken about him, 3 rushing touchdowns. Karad Harris, he put in 96 on the ground and 2 touchdowns. Also threw for 109 on 10 for 17. So TC just dominated North Buncombe. North Buncombe's had some tough losses these past few weeks. If you remember, they lost to Enka last week. Just not a good time for the Blackhawks, Corey.
No, and yeah, like you mentioned, I mean, TC just has so much speed. I mean, even just them 3 kids you mentioned right there, I don't know how you find an answer for them, especially with teams like North Buncombe and stuff. I mean, you can only do so much. So, yeah, TC, I mean, they're climbing on up and how I'm viewing them. I mean, they're a solid team.
Yep. We'll have to see if they joined our top 10 this week. We'll get there. But they're playing well. I mentioned last week, watch out for the Rams, baby. They're looking good. They're hot. AC Reynolds, 26 over Asheville, 7. Corey, do you remember growing up and watching Virginia Tech under Frank Beamer? They would just have these teams where it seemed like on special teams they would just make plays out of nowhere that helped them win the game, whether it was a punt return, maybe they blocked a field goal. Like something along the way would just seem to happen every game that made them really good.
Yeah, I definitely remember.
That's what this Reynolds team reminds me of. They don't have a great offense, but they have really good special teams. They've got good skill players on the outside, and they've got an opportunistic defense. Talk a little bit about that style of play.
Yeah, I mean, Reynolds, like you said, just straight up Beamer ball style, winning with great special teams and a great defense, especially when they get opportunities. But and for instance, I want to touch on, like, what about the block punt by Reynolds when Asheville – so they were already through the first quarter, and it was a 0-0 ball game. Then all of a sudden Reynolds blocks an Asheville punt, which it was deep in Asheville's end zone. But ball goes sky high, and lo and behold, right into the hands of Kai Smith for a touchdown. Talk about being in the right place at the right time.
Yep.
Like, they just freaking fly around. And I saw it against Erwin. I mean, Erwin gave them – it was only a 14-10 game, but – It was a battle nonetheless, and Reynolds, they just always seem to make the right plays in the right times, especially on special teams.
Yeah, for sure. We've talked about how Erwin struggled, but they've still got talent. They've still got some playmakers. I think Reynolds is kind of the same this year. They're a little down, but they've still got enough studs to win you some football games, and they really showed up this week. I mean, how about their defense, Corey? Asheville quarterback Tay Williams, he's a good player. He's young, but he's good. Held him to 7 of 15 for 114 yards and an interception, and they sacked him 5 times. Just living in the backfield.
That's insane to me, and it's also insane to me that Asheville only threw the ball 15 times. When you got a quarterback like Tay Williams, I expected this game to be closer and honestly more of a shootout. I didn't touch on that last week, but that's how I was viewing it in my mind. I just thought Asheville would come out trying to sling it a little more and get their athletes in space, but then again, I mean, with the way Reynolds' defense has been playing, maybe they just kind of were reluctant to that just because how good Reynolds flies around.
Yep. Special teams was big time for them. Their punter, Levi Anderson, had 2 punts down inside the 10. That's as good of a punter as you can ask for right there. And then Caden Ray ran a punt back for a touchdown. So that's what I'm saying. Like, it's very much like the Virginia Tech Beamer ball. And I'm sure a lot of kids listening to this are like, who's Frank Beamer? Well, his son, Shane, coaches at South Carolina. Maybe you know him. They don't quite play the same style of ball, but that's just what Virginia Tech used to be, and they won a lot of football games doing that. And Reynolds, that seems to be what they're rallying around with their team this year. So,
hey, I want to touch on one thing that I heard actually like last week. It was a college team, And so I saw like their players of the week or whatever. You had an offensive and a defensive guy, and then so instead of special teams, their guy said game changers, which that cannot be more true because if you're on special teams, I mean, you are a game changer. I mean, if it's a down to the wire football game, special teams makes all the difference.
For sure. Warren picked a bad episode to miss because he loves special teams. he could have talked a lot about this game, but yeah, Reynolds, they're looking good. Another team, we'll have to see if they're able to get in the top 10.
We wanted to touch on the special teams, but even if Reynolds does get the ball, even if they're a little down, they have Jaden Smith and Tavon Patterson. Such a freaking nasty duo in the backfield. Both kids, they have exceptional quickness and strength. Jaden Smith, as he did last week against Erwin, had another play Friday night where it seemed as if Asheville had him bottled up. But again, he kept his legs turning and he was able to turn it into a big gain. The kid is a freaking nightmare to get on the ground. And like we already shouted out, Reynolds' defense multiple times, played a stout game. And yeah, it wasn't easy to do getting Tay Williams on the ground, but they did. And they're playing lots out here lately, holding Erwin and Asheville to only a combined 17 points the last couple of weeks. So,
Jeez. That's good.
Yeah, I mean, that's balling.
Erwin wins against Enka 28-14. Corey, what happened to your Jets?
Well, this one was tight. After Erwin jumped out to an early 14-0 lead, honestly thought that this game might be over, but Trantham would answer on a QB keeper to make it 14-6 after a missed PAT. And that's something Enka's also struggled with a lot this year. There were a ton of penalties in this game as well. At one point, Erwin had about 5 in a row on one series. They'd get called back, gain the yardage back, and then get called for another one. I heard refs had to be escorted out of this one, Caleb.
So this was a really pretty game, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Very, very clean.
Super Picasso painting, beautiful. I mean, even though Erwin has dominated the football aspect, I will say that, dominated the football aspect of this rivalry for a number of years, it still doesn't change the fact that these two schools hate each other. No matter the sport, it's always a lot of jawing and antics. There was a lot of wild stuff happening in this one that I don't think we need to get into, but know it was, for lack of a better words, a fun one. And credit to Enka for hanging tough with the Warriors in this game. If Enka could have eliminated the Erwin jump out lead in the first quarter, you're looking at a tie ball game going into the fourth, Caleb. I mean, and there was also a touchdown called back in the second half against Enka due to an illegal procedure that a lot of people argue was not. But either way, Enka really battled. Shout out to Jaden McElrath, had 14 tackles in the game, plays for Enka. Caden Engel found Noah Hoodham for the Warriors' first touchdown of the night, and Erwin they never really looked back.
Yeah, you can't spot a team 14 points and expect to win, and that ended up being the difference in the game. They lost by 14. So good for the Jets for hanging in there and fighting, but Erwin just proved to be too strong overall, and they win 28-14. So let's see how things shook up with the top 10 this week, Corey. It's time for the battle for the Blue Ridge Top 10.
It's the battle for the Blue Ridge Top 10. Presented by We Don't Have a Sponsor.
At 10 this week, we have Robbinsville. At 9, TC Roberson. Here they are. At 8, AC Reynolds. 7, West Henderson. 6, Murphy. 5, Pisgah. 4, Hendersonville. 3, Franklin. 2, Mountain Heritage. And 1, drum roll please, Brevard. That is your battle for the Blue Ridge Top 10 for Week 9. Corey, what do you think about this Top 10?
You know, I don't see any other way around it. I mean, I tried to, I wanted to keep McDowell in there, but I'm like, their schedule's not been tough enough, even though they're only 5-2 now. And I think Reynolds has deserved to move on up because of their tough non-conference schedule and then handling business in the MAC so far, and TC as well. I mean, they're right there with AC Reynolds. I mean, they had a tough non-conference schedule, and we're really never getting blown out except by Watauga or whatever. And they're handling business in the MAC as well. So, and Robbinsville, I mean, lost a close game to our number 6 team. So, I like where we're at right now.
So let me ask you this. Citizen Times has Pisgah ranked higher than Hendersonville, I think by about 4 or 5 spots. is Pisgah possibly better than Hendersonville? I know we're kind of looking at records and strength of schedule and everything when we're doing our rankings, but is Pisgah better than Hendersonville? Did we have that wrong?
That's tough because Hendersonville was right there in the ball game with Erwin when they played them, and I don't see Pisgah really being able to hang with Erwin. I think Pisgah's outmatched when it comes down to athletes there, and they're probably going to crucify me for saying that, but it's just the truth. I mean, I think Hendersonville would beat Pisgah. I think it'd be a great game, but I'm comfortable with where Hendersonville's at.
And Hendersonville's defense has been great ever since that game against Erwin. They haven't played the toughest of teams, but they've been really holding teams down. So that would be an interesting matchup. I think I agree with you. I think our list is good. I think Hendersonville is just that one step above Pisgah, but who knows? We'll see how Pisgah closes the season. I tell you what, if they beat Brevard to finish the year on Halloween night, that's going to shake up the standings quite a bit. But we'll have to see what happens. And like Corey mentioned, TC and AC Reynolds getting in there, good for them. They're playing well as we've gotten into conference play. And then Robbinsville, that loss to Murphy, I think just took them down to the 10 spot. I mentioned last week that maybe that game would knock the loser out. We all picked Robbinsville at the 10 spot, just barely hanging in there. So we'll see what they can do to finish out the season. But that is your top 10.
Hold on. I have a question. So does Citizen Times have Pisgah over Mountain Heritage?
Yes. I don't have the list up in front of me, but they still had Mountain Heritage somewhere around the sixth best.
The fact that Citizen Times has Mountain Heritage at number 6, first of all, makes me want to vomit in my mouth. But the fact that you have Pisgah over Mountain Heritage is even more crazy because I don't know if you guys recall, first game of the season, Mountain Heritage absolutely waxed that rear end. I don't know. Don't know what the hate is against the Cougars out there in Burnsville, but I suggest y'all clean it up because I'm tired of the disrespect.
Yeah, they've got Pisgah at 3, Murphy at 4, Hendersonville at 5.
Whoa.
Before they get to Mountain Heritage.
Oh, let's move on before I get angry.
Okay. It's time for our certified Dogs of the Week. My certified dog is a bit unconventional this week. I'm taking the whole Pisgah offensive line, and you might as well call them IHOP because they serve pancakes all day long. In the Black Bears' past 2 games, they've run the ball 114 times for 719 yards and 9 touchdowns. That's an average of almost 6.5 yards per play. And last week, they helped Landon Pope chew up 283 yards and 4 touchdowns on the ground. Pope is a great player, but the best running back in the world is nothing without those big hog mollies clearing the path. So Pisgah offensive line, you are certified dogs. Warren's pick for certified dog of the week is Garrett Young, 194 yards, 5 touchdowns on 21 carries. He's a grown man, and he's also Warren's certified dog of the week.
And I'm about to go a little unconventional as well. Give me Reynolds punter Levi Anderson with 2 punts down inside the 10-yard line in a 26-7 win versus Asheville. Special teams make special plays and special moments. Levi Anderson, sir, you are a certified dog.
I like that. I like that. Giving the punter some love. That's awesome. Congrats to Levi Anderson. I bet he's not been player of the week or anything. He's our certified dog of the week. We're going to post that. We need to make a graphic. Levi Anderson, certified
we should.
Dog. Let's do it. I like it.
I'm down.
Hey, special teams matter. We talked about that.
Absolutely.
It's important.
The unsung heroes.
So now it's time for our game of the week preview. We had a little back and forth on which one we were going to do. Brevard plays West Henderson. Both teams are in our top 10. But at the end of the day, we just felt like Erwin versus Asheville might be a better matchup. Both teams are coming in 2-5 and really needing a big-time win to keep some postseason hopes alive.
Yeah, I think this one's going to be a freaking barn burner. I already decided that I'm going there Friday. I think it's going to be neck and neck. I would say Asheville, then I'd tell myself Erwin, then I'd say Asheville again, Erwin, so forth. I think you got both teams. You got Erwin averaging 19.4 points a game. You got Asheville averaging 18.9. You got it at Asheville. You know how it is to play over there in that stadium. They get
Cougars.
rowdy. You hear the Cougars. you hear that chant going when Asheville's got some momentum. You might get a little petrified. I don't know, but yeah, it's gonna be a great game.
Yeah. So Erwin comes into this with only one road win, and you mentioned it. Asheville's a tough place to play. It's going to be interesting to see if the Warriors can overcome that rowdy crowd. You know, I think for me, Tay Williams for Asheville has to have a bounce-back game. We mentioned last game he only had 110 yards, about a 50% completion rate, and a pick, no touchdowns. And then he was sacked 5 times. He had negative 38 yards on the ground. So if they're going to beat Erwin, Corey, you talked about the athletes Erwin has. And again, Asheville's got some good players. They got Samaj Brown. He's a good player, good athlete, plays running back and receiver for them. But, yeah, I don't know. I go back and forth on it. I think Tay Williams has to be the X factor in this game for Asheville if they want to pull out the win.
Yeah, I think if Erwin is going to win this game, they've really got to get Caden Ingle to not turn the ball over. They really need big production at the running back spot from the freshman, Jabari Tolbert. You also got to get Kadarion Brown going and Noah Hoodum. Noah Hoodum, I feel like he doesn't get talked about enough. He's one of Erwin's biggest threats, in my opinion, from the games that I've seen. He can be electric. But, yeah, it's all going to come down to, I think, if Erwin can keep from turning the ball over, play some solid defense, but get the offense in rhythm with their playmakers. And who knows? Yeah,
and on Asheville's side, DJ Jackson plays linebacker for him. Or I guess it could be DJ. I'm not sure. It's DJ AAY. So apologies. That's probably DJ, right? But anyways, he plays great defense for him. He had 11 total tackles last week against Erwin. He's been kind of their best player on defense all season. And get this, he's only a freshman. 5'10", 178-pound linebacker. But he's playing well for him. He'll have to come back or come up big for Asheville to beat Erwin as well. So that's another name to keep an eye on. So let's get into our picks. Since Warren's not here, I'll pick for him. He's got Erwin by 4. Interesting. He thinks the Warriors go into Asheville and win by 4. Myself, like we mentioned, going back and forth, couldn't really make a decision. I ended up going with Asheville by 7. I just think maybe being at home's enough to give them the edge. It's going to be a good game, but give me the Cougars by 7.
Yeah, I'm right there with you, man. I think just because it's at home that they can pull it out somehow, and that's why I've got Asheville by 1 point.
Ooh.
I think it's gonna come down to the wire, but we'll see. I'm excited to go watch this game.
We need a live report from the field. Let's see how the atmosphere is. Moving on to our quick pick 9. Let's recap our standings here. Corey sitting comfortably at the 1 spot at 54-15. Then me and Warren are tied at 45-24. So we're about to get into it. I don't see much separation this week. I think we got a lot of the same picks, but let's dig into it anyways. We'll start off with Reynolds at North Buncombe. Corey, who you got there?
Give me the Rockets by 35.
Ooh. No respect for the Blackhawks.
Ain't shown me enough to give respect.
Yeah, I'm going with Reynolds by 24. So I still think it's going to be a sizable margin of victory for the Rockets. And then Warren is right there with me. He's got him by 21. Next we have Brevard, undefeated, 7-0, going to West Henderson at 5-2. A battle between two of our top 10 teams. Warren is taking Brevard by 17. I'm taking him by 21. Corey, what do you think?
Yeah, after the way that West Henderson struggled with Pisgah, I'm going to have to take the Blue Devils in this one, and I'm going to say Brevard by 24.
Part of me wonders if West can pull off the upset. I don't know. It's going to
be. You never know.
The fact that they're at home, Brevard's, sitting there undefeated, might get a little fat and happy. I'm sure Coach Coleman's been preaching to his teams, y'all ain't done nothing. So
yeah,
we'll we'll see how it goes. But we're all taking big wins for Brevard. Next up, TC Roberson at Enka. I'm going TC by 20.
I'm going to do you one better. Say TC by 21. I think Enka's going to fight pretty hard, but I think TC just pulls away.
Too much speed, I think, for TC. Warren.
A lot of speed.
He has TC by 63. So I am very excited for that to be on the graphic. I think Candler's going to turn on him real quick after he built up so much clout with him early in the year. That's dead now. He's got TC by 63.
I'll probably still get blamed somehow.
I mean, if they win by 63, that's you got to give Warren credit.
Yeah.
But once again, we'll say it every week. Prove us wrong. We want to be wrong. Don't give up 14-0 leads to start the game. And let's see how it goes. Robbinsville, our 10th ranked team, go into Rosman, fresh off that loss against Andrews. Corey, what's going to happen?
Robbinsville by 41.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Dang, that's not 63, but that's
not
tough.
much of a game here, fellas. It could be 63.
Yeah, I'm going Robbinsville by 28, and then Warren's got him by 24. But it could easily be the amount that Corey said. It's going to be a tough one for Rosman. But who knows? Little home magic. We'll see what happens. Cherokee at Swain County. Mr. Warren's taking the Maroon Devils by 14. Corey, what do you think?
Well, I've seen how Swain County handled Hayesville pretty easily. Hayesville handled Cherokee pretty easily. So give me Swain by 31.
Yep, I'm taking Swain County by 17. Murphy at the aforementioned Andrews. Murphy's 5-2. Andrews is 1-6. That tells me that Murphy's going to win by 30. And Warren's got Murphy by 24. Corey.
I'm going to reverse that. I got Murphy by 42.
Man, Corey's picking blowouts everywhere. I mean, we all are, really. I've seen
enough.
We were talking about this this week, leading up to it in our group text. Just these teams seem to be solidifying who they are. You know at this point what you're going to get out of everyone for the most part. We want to see some chaos, though. It makes better content if there's like a major upset. So one of these teams that we're picking to get blown out, do us a favor. Help us out. we don't care about you, but help us.
Yeah.
Give us something to talk about. All right, so we're all taking Murphy big over Andrews. Mitchell at Mountain Heritage. Now here's one that could be close, maybe. Mitchell's not a bad team. Corey, can you give me anything on this one?
I'll give you something to talk about. Mountain Heritage by 30, boys.
Yeah, Warren's got him by 24, and I'm taking him by 21. It's I think Mountain Heritage is just that much better. They're not the 6th ranked team in WNC Citizen Times. I'm talking to you.
Blasphemy.
Madison at Owen. Warren's got the Patriots by 3. I'm taking my War Horses by 6.
You know what, Caleb? I don't think it's a touchdown they win by. I think it's a field goal. Again, give me Owen by 3.
Hey, mine could be 2 field goals.
That's
You just assume it's a missed extra point, which it probably will be.
Fair. Well, I mean, after all the games I've seen in the mountains this year, yeah, that's what I'd assume.
Oh, man. Hendersonville at Avery County. This one is not going to be pretty. I've got Hendersonville by 35.
Yeah, I've got it even more ugly. I'm going Hendersonville by 48.
Corey has no respect for any of these underdogs this week.
Nope, not anymore.
Oh, and then Warren's got him by 28. So, yeah, we're predicting a bunch of blowouts in favor of the perceived better team. So, just somebody's got to pull an upset or make it a close game. Give me like a double OT between Robbinsville and Rosman. Something. Make something happen for us. But good luck to everybody. And that wraps up another episode without our man Warren. Corey, I'm a little sad that he's not here.
It honestly doesn't hit the same, does it? It was
It
kind of
just
like
doesn't.
when we were missing you. This is exactly
Yeah.
how I felt. It's like a part of me is missing.
Yeah, I mean, you and I have good chemistry, but it's just not as good as the three of us, the three amigos. But hopefully he'll be back next week. Corey's got some technical difficulties too. If his audio sounds a little different, that's why. So we were under the gun this week, but hey, we made it happen. And that's another episode down for the Mountain Matchups podcast. Thanks for tuning in. Give us a like, give us a follow, give us a share wherever you're listening. And we'll see you next week. Love you, Corey.
Love you, bro.